This isn't gonna work, is it? Let's get out of here. It's been a while since we last caught up, and I kind of feel like it's important that we have a, I don't know, just kind of reset things with the channel. There's a lot of sponsorship stuff going on at the moment, which I'm obviously very pleased about because it allows me to buy new watches, do the renovation to my studio that I need to do, and Sony's just launched the A7 IV, which I obviously need to get. So I'm very pleased about the sponsorship stuff there, but that wasn't what the channel was about. The channel was just supposed to be just talking watches and catching up with you guys. So that's why I thought I'd do a Q&A video. I've been traveling all over the place recently because of the channel and just renovation and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like a bit out of touch, and that's why there hasn't been a normal video for a while. Probably haven't noticed, but there hasn't been like a studio video for quite a while. So I kind of just needed to get out. I need to come to somewhere like this. And a Q&A video is the perfect kind of opportunity to skim some stones, catch up with you guys, find out what's on your mind. And Duncan, I'm well, thanks mate. Tired, bit bored of living out of a hotel, but apart from that, happy, can't complain. I hope you're well, I hope you're all well. So let's see what the first question is. I guess I've already done the first question. Kyle has asked, what are your thoughts on the micro brand Vice? Vice watch company is run by Cameron Vice. I've been following him for a long time. Absolutely love what he does. I've tried to borrow watches a couple of times, but it's just tricky, especially being across the pond. The watches are really nicely priced for what they are. The watches are just nice, simple, I'm guessing well-made field watches. So yeah, really like what they are. Is it wrong to be wearing a nice watch, not necessarily expensive, at a young age? The cool thing about watches is that there are no wrong answers. You wear whatever the hell you want, and that is in the most broadest, most open sense possible. There are midgies everywhere. I guess the only wrong answer is to not wear the watch you want to wear, or not buy the watch that you want to buy. So ignore your age, ignore everything other than, do you like it, can you afford it? Alex has asked a question that's interesting and has popped up in my head fairly recently, and it's, would you wear something dressier if the specs were better, like a 100-meter Calatrava? Yeah, quite possibly. I noticed this with the Vacheron Constantin 56, which has water resistance of 30 meters, I think it is. That watch appears to me to be quite an everyday watch, and I think 30 meters water resistance just isn't enough. It's more to do with peace of mind. I'm getting more and more into dressy watches, especially with the kind of clothing that I wear. I like the contrast between elegance and the elegance of the watch and the non-elegance of me. I think that's quite fun. Especially something like a Calatrava. That's an all-rounder. I'm not a massive fan myself, but it's a watch that could be your only watch. And if that's the case, then it should be water resistant. What has been the most challenging part of going full-time on YouTube? I've always been bad at time management. I've always been bad at organization. And so I guess that side of it. My eldest kid said, you know, when I was 3 and he didn't have a job. So, what do you mean? I've always had a job. No, when I was 3 years old, you didn't have a job. So, what do you mean I didn't have a job? I've always had a job. No, when I was 3, we used to play. We used to play all the time. And that really hit me. So it's constant working. Although it's not working, because I enjoy what I do. And I think that's the challenge around the whole work-life balance thing, is that if you dislike your job, then you're more likely to zone out of it. You're more likely to find some form of escapism or do other things. And I think that's the challenge with YouTube or social media, or just what I do, is I like it so much that I can just work on it. I need to get better at time management. So I think that's probably the hardest part of YouTube. Or I guess the hardest, it's not YouTube, it's running your business. The hardest part of that is you have to grind, you have to make it work and that often means putting in the hours. I'm not complaining. I absolutely love this. I am working right now. This is my job, and that is, it's really quite remarkable. I feel very, very lucky. There are obviously impacts which I've just mentioned, but the offset of that is that. How many explorers is too many? How many explorers is too many? I don't understand. Do you get treated better by ADs because of your social following? Absolutely not. It's actually quite rare for me to get recognized by people working in ADs. Yeah, it is rare. There was a girl that I met in, I won't name the brand, in an AD close to me, who said, "Oh, I got my job because of you." Like, you probably didn't. Watching my videos won't help you get a job. But anyway, it's unlikely for me to get recognized by the staff. It's more likely for me to get recognized by the people going into the store. There's lots of questions about business this time, much more than normal. So I'll kind of try and condense them into the same. What's the best business advice you've ever had? I can't really narrow it down to one single bit of advice, but kind of an overall mindset. I'm dyslexic, and so me and school just didn't get on at all, and I became really anti-failure. I hated the idea of failing, to the point of I just wouldn't do something if there was an opportunity for me to fail, which going through life is a really toxic mindset to have. You can't be successful, or however you see success, it's hard to do that if you're scared of failure. And reading books like Gary Vee's Crushing It, I can't remember the other guy, there's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. There are lots of little things that I've read or listened to that have changed my mindset around that. And now I don't care about failure. I see failure now as just part of the journey. It doesn't matter if things fail. My mindset now is, let's just try stuff. If it doesn't work, it really doesn't matter. People will always look negatively on things that you do, regardless of whether they're successful or not. Equally, people will be supportive of what you do, regardless of whether it's successful or not. And so you're always going to have haters and supporters, whatever you do in life. So ignore all of that stuff and do what you think is right. It's not really one piece of advice, but it's kind of just a mindset of just try stuff. Future plans for the Bark and Jack empire. Oh, it is a small empire. So I really want to push this whole content stuff. I love making videos. I love taking photographs, but I feel like it's a relatively small segment of what I do if I was to break down my time. Emails and admin and kind of the normal business operation stuff takes up a huge amount of time, and I'd really like to focus on the content creation, whether it's for Bark and Jack or whether it's for other companies. I'd love to work with brands to create content for them in various different ways. Another element is there are so many different areas that could be developed from a commercial point of view. They just don't necessarily appetize me to do them. So that the platform would be a perfect platform to sell watches, and that kind of just makes sense. But I don't want, that's not where my passion sits. And so there are other opportunities as well, working with brands to create collaborations and things like that, watch brands or beyond. And so I think at some point there will be, or I'll need to find some sort of business partner who can do that commercial side and enjoys doing that commercial side. Because for me, I prefer focusing on the branding, the creative, the content. That's where my passion lies. I've spent quite a lot of time on these questions, so I'm just going to blast through some of them. Thoughts on the Aqua Terra small seconds, or the Omega Diver 300 white dial? I love the Aqua Terra small seconds. I've been emailing Omega to try and borrow one. They do not even respond. At least Rolex responds to my emails. I don't get anything from Omega. So if you got contacts at Omega, then help me out. I love the small seconds. I think it's brilliant. And I would probably get this, personally, I'd probably get the small seconds over the Seamaster 300. But go try them on. The small seconds does wear large. but it's just such a cool watch. How do you get your watch purchases past the wife? Or your wife? I can't. If you have advice on this, drop a comment, because I really struggle to get beyond, especially the position that I'm in. I get to borrow a lot of watches, and her response is always two things. One, why do you need another watch? Which I really struggle to get beyond. And two, why don't you just borrow it? It stumps me. Which Black Bay 58 is your favorite and why? It would have to be the 925, the silver. It is just stunning. It's such a cool, interesting looking watch, at the same time being a very vanilla watch, a very versatile watch. The grey is just so subdued. It's just great. Absolutely love that one. What equipment do you use for your photos? I'd say 90% of my photos are, no, I'd probably say 60% of my photos are taken with a Fuji X100 V. I have a whole Sony setup. I've got 3 Sony cameras with the idea of taking photographs of Sonys, but I just enjoy the process of using Fuji. So I'd say about 60% of the shots are taken on that thing. The rest are probably just taken on the Sony A7S III, which only has 12 megapixels, which is pretty useless when it comes to photographs. But then 99% of my photographs just go on Instagram, and 12 megapixels is absolutely fine for that. Hi Adrian, will there be a video about the Explorer 2? Yes, there will be. I picked this up last week. There will be an initial video coming out explaining how I got it, because it wasn't a normal way. That'll be coming out, I think, maybe, I don't know when, soonish. But basically my studio and house is being completely renovated. It's unusable at the moment, and so there won't be a video for at least 2 weeks on this watch. I want to spend some time taking really nice shots of it, so there'll be a delay, which is actually quite nice for me as the watch owner. Whenever I buy a new watch, there's always this pressure to keep it in a really nice condition so I can make content on it and have the watch in as new condition for the content, because I knew from the offset that I wasn't going to be able to make content on the watch because the studio is out of use at the moment, and so I just got on wearing it. And not to ruin the video, but this watch is beyond phenomenal. It truly is. It's getting scratched up already. It truly is amazing. But yes, there will be a video. There'll be 2 videos. There'll be one just talking about the watch itself, and there'll be another one talking about a more personal perspective of it, a more personal viewpoint of why I got this watch. But that will at least 2 weeks out from that. Guys, I hope you like this Q&A. It's given me a nice opportunity to come out here, change my headspace. Seeing the countryside and getting involved in the countryside really just does open up the mind, open up my mind at least, and just appreciate the stunning things out here. It's really quite amazing. Guys, I hope you like this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. If you like the style of this video, and hit the subscribe button down there. You're probably a subscriber anyway, because it's unlikely a non-subscriber would watch me ramble on about this sort of stuff. Watch straps, I should probably mention. Watch accessories as well. Over at barkandjack.com, we sell watch straps, watch accessories, watch rolls, watch pouches, stuff your watches. Go have a look at barkandjack.com and see what we've got over there. If you're on Instagram, give me a follow at barkandjack. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.